Hello, everyone. This is George, real estate agent, author, and public speaker with my lovely friend.
I'm Elle. I'm a relationship coach and also a real estate agent.
Today's episode is what is my deal breakers? Oh my God. Don't get upset at me, okay? So, why is it important for all of us to have what we think are deal breakers, and why is that important in a relationship?
It's important because you, based on who you are and who you want to attract to your life and have a fantastic relationship, you need to know, and you sit down and think about what is your deal breaker. If that person smokes, is that okay with you? If they're dishonest, is that okay with you?
Yeah.
There's so many things that you need to kind of think about, and then the best way is to communicate that right at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. I think for me, deal breakers are more like, what do I expect my partner actually doesn't do? Like pretend like they're single and going out every weekend with their friends. To me, that's a deal breaker because, I mean, if you want to be single out with your friends and partying and putting yourself in a position where there's a bunch of other single people of the opposite sex, I mean, that's a deal breaker for me.
There also, George, there is also, let's say, okay, that's your deal breaker, but then she would tell you, I understand that, but I would like to go once every few months to dinner with a couple of my girlfriends. Just to dinner, just the girls' night out. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, I'd probably say maybe once every 5 years, but definitely not every other weekend or every couple months. Being in a relationship, it's a commitment, you know. It's not a game. If you're really searching for a partner, I think you have to have a better intent of being you and this individual, especially if you want to build a family, build an empire, build a legacy with. I mean, these are some of the things that most men are looking for in their partners, at least from the male's perspective.
I understand. So this is George's deal breakers. I have clients who they're okay with either the man or the woman goes with the friends out for dinner or lunch, or spend a couple of hours every few months or every other week, because they trust each other. It comes from that trust. So it is your deal breaker, but at the same time, then I invite you to look back and see where was it that the trust kind of.
And I'm glad you're saying that about trust, because it's not that I don't trust her. I don't trust the men that are there, because I'm gonna be completely honest with you, the men are out there trying to conquer somebody. And if you put yourself in a place where that's where they're going to conquer, it's them that I don't trust. And then you put alcohol in the mix, and that's where it becomes a problem. So it's not like that I'm being hard or difficult about it. It's just that I'm more concerned of the environment that she puts herself in. And I've talked to many guy friends and people that want to be in serious relationships, and they feel the same way. And but do you think that that's too excessive?
No, that's your deal breaker.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what you don't
Yeah.
like. That's your deal breaker. Some person is about smoking, and even if they smoke socially once every few months, that's not good. So it's just your preference. That's how it makes you feel connected to the other person, to have these talks, understanding of what you want in a relationship.
Smoking for me, of course, I don't want to date also somebody that smokes, of course, because then you taste the cigarette and whatnot, and if I'm not the one that's consuming it, I definitely don't want to taste the or smell it, for that matter, the secondhand smoke, because that's definitely a killer. And I like to think about it and protect my health as much as possible, because I want to be here healthy as long as I possibly can. From some of your clients, what have been other deal breakers that seem a little maybe excessive or a little odd that some other people may be able to look past sometimes? What are some of those that you think?
I think the honesty comes up a lot of times because sometimes we have the fear of losing the other person, so we're not truly honest with our feelings, what we want, what's more comfortable for us, and then we just don't say it, and it just kind of takes a few months, sometimes a few years, and then when we express it at that time, the other partner will be surprised because you were not honest. Actually, first is you haven't been honest with yourself, and then with your partner, and that's kind of, it brings up some issues.
Now, when you say honesty, is it not sharing everything, or actually lying about it? What do you mean, lying, or just not speaking all the truth?
Both. It can be both. It can be. Let's say you like to go after work. You don't want to go home. You just want to go sit someplace and have a coffee or something, and just to relax and come home. You have been doing that when you were by yourself.
Yeah.
Now that's kind of a routine for you, but then you're not telling your partner that
you don't want to come home.
that I need that an hour, just to be by myself.
Yeah.
Or I mean, there is a ways to do it. You can come home and go to your room and say, just give me an hour, and I'll be downstairs or whatever.
So something else comes to mind. So it's like working Monday to Friday. But on Saturday, you go play golf, but you tell your wife you're working, but you need a day off for yourself. That's being dishonest, right?
Yeah, and I'm playing golf.
Yeah.
I like to play golf Saturday mornings or whenever it's Sunday mornings, from this time to this time. I've been doing that for, 5 years. And I like to continue doing that. Is that okay with you? Or in different occasions, if you're invited someplace or we have to go out of town, whatever occasions comes up, then we can talk about it and see how we can, work it out.
Yeah.
I mean, there is always ways to work stuff out if both parties are keen about getting the relationship going. And we talked about this, the conversation always best to be like a round conversation, goes and comes back nicely, and because you understand, you're opening yourself up to understand what the other person is telling you.
It's communication also,
Yeah, but some people go back to their old behaviors,
the
or
bad
to
habits,
the old interactions that I had with the other partners that they have.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of see that their mind goes back and it stays there and bring that past to the present time.
Yeah. Here's another question, and I'm sure it's very concerning for a lot of our viewers, right? Is the clothing style of a person that's single versus a person that's in a relationship. Because there's definitely has to be a differential between the two. Because when you're single, you dress all sexy because you're trying to catch somebody. When you're in a relationship, you got to cover up a little bit because you got to be more respectful. Now, that I can also see as a deal breaker too, because people are trying and pretending to be single because of the way they dress. Yeah. What do you think about that?
Yes, I did have a client who, when they actually just got married, the husband was very keen about her being very covered up when they go out. So she did accept that, and it worked out. I mean, it all depends who you are.
Yeah.
And that's why these are the deal breakers. if she or he or whatever, whoever that they're talking about, this kind of behavior or the way that they are, or the way that they want to go to this party or they don't want to. I mean, there's couples who very interactive, and some people are not. They don't want to go to parties every weekend. They'd rather just stay home and
Now,
spend time together.
and by no means am I saying that girls are not allowed to look sexy, because I want my girl to look sexy too, but just not to be inviting to other potential people to say and be disrespectful when then there's a confrontation, and then obviously the guy has to protect the female, because obviously that's what we do. And it's more really about avoidance, those type of situations where there isn't a fight and no one gets hurt, which is why some of us men, we raise that concern. And it's not because we don't want our girls to dress good, it's just that we want to eliminate certain situations from happening, is what we tend to do sometimes.
In my experience, when you know exactly what you want, you actually invite people in your life in your same level.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking that your lady has to be covered up, and when she's with you, then she will pick it up. I mean, it is. I know it's unconscious.
The intuition.
Yes, but she pick it up, and I'm sure that she will say yes to whatever you like.
Well, we hope so, right? If not, there is no relationship.
Deal breaker.
If not, there is no relationship. You know, at that point.
Yeah.
You know, this was a very interesting topic. Like I said, I mean, it's kind of like some people like to they tiptoe around these subjects because they don't want to come across too what's the word, macho, too, I don't know, with their partners, and the partners, whether it's male or female, will explode because they feel like they're being controlled and manipulated to be a certain way, and that's never the intent of the individual trying to protect the other person. It's out of love. It's never about anything else.
So it's all about honesty.
Yes.
And the first the honesty has to be with yourself.
Yeah.
To be honest and say, okay, these are my deal breakers. Doesn't matter if he has all these 10 other pluses, but then this one that is really hard for me to accept, then it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So
It makes perfect sense. So I hope you guys got some enjoyment and some valuable tips on this particular episode. If there's any questions that you might have, reach out to us, send us a message. You'll find the information below this video, whether it's on my platforms or on Elle's platforms. And we're here to help and be of service in any kind of way. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. See you soon.
Thank you. Have a great day, guys.